Okay, our next lesson is to plot numbers on a number line. So our first example here, and our only example in this section, is to plot numbers in that are both integers and rational numbers. And we're going to focus on our decimals and our fractions. So our first one is just an integer, -2. You'll see the example down here at the bottom, example number 5. And over here on my tablet, I'm going to graph the -2. So I'm going to put a dot in the -2, and then I'm going to highlight -2, and that is plotting a number on the number line, as I discussed a little earlier. Now we're going to focus our attention in on the fraction. So our first is a -1/3. So I'm going to break my number line between 0 and -1 into thirds. In order to do that, I need 2 lines to evenly break this between 0 and 1 into 1/3. So I'm going to put one line here and one line there, and that breaks the line into 1/3 increments. So I'll count over from 0 to the first one, and that of course is at a -1/3, and so I'll put a dot here and I'll mark that as a -1/3. And then once I have finished that one, I'll move on to my next one. Now my next number is a decimal, a 0.4. Now when I break a number line into increments for decimals, and we'll only be using tenths because those are the easiest ones to do, what I need to do is break them into 10 equally spaced increments, which uses 9 lines. The easiest way to do that is to break the line into half. So between 0 and 1, I'll break this into half first, and then I'll use 4 lines in order to break that into my fifths, and then into the fifths over here as well. And that makes my line into 10 equally spaced increments. And now I can count over from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and put a dot right there, and that is 4/10 or 0.4. And so I'll label it right there. Now my last one is an improper fraction. Improper fractions I feel best discussed using a mixed number. So I'm going to change 8/5 into an improper or a mixed number. So I'm going to take the numerator 8 and divide it by the denominator 5. 5 goes into 8 one time, remainder 3. And now from there, I see that this is 1, and the remainder is the numerator, and the denominator is the denominator of that fraction. So I need 1 3/5, which tells me that I'm going to be between 1 and 2. So I'm going to need to break the number line between 1 and 2 into 5 equally spaced increments. So I will need 4 lines in order to do that. So 4 evenly spaced lines will break this line into fifths. So there we go. And now from 1, I'll count 1, 2, and 3, and that will make 1 3/5. Now usually the easiest thing to do to show that is to put it back as the improper fraction because it takes a lot less space. So there we go. We've successfully graphed all of those points on our number line, and that's the end of